Hello guys, welcome back to another installment of Redtalk on Morelife TV. And today I have with me Mavrick, and I have Thando, and I have Ropah. And today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, especially for the youth of today. So the question is sex important in a relationship? Question to you guys. Well, not precisely, but like to you. In general, is sex?
It felt personal, like you said.
No, let's not make it personal. Let's just try and speak about it in general terms. So I'll just leave it to you guys to tell us what you think about. Is sex important in a relationship? Any takers?
I think what I think is most people believe that it's important, but it's actually a huge debate that people actually.
What do you believe? Most people say it's important. What do you?
I think it's partially important, because it's not all about that at the end of the day. Okay. There's certain things that actually contribute to a relationship that are not.
Yes.
So it's somewhat important, but not as important as certain people would like to put it.
Okay. So you're basically saying sex is overrated. We'll come back to that one. Okay,
Personally, I think that what matters is why you get into a relationship in the first place.
Okay.
If you get into a relationship because you want money, then you're gonna give sex for money. If you get into a relationship because you want to love somebody, then you're probably gonna give a little bit of sexual innuendo related issues without the sex. But if you feel like you get into a relationship because you're horny and you want sex, then I really think that it's because why you get into a relationship in the first place. That's what I think personally.
Okay, but you sort of did a little circle around the question. Is sex important in a relationship?
If it's a relationship that's above 18, then yes. If you guys are 18 years and old, then yes, sex is important.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to that one because Ropah, is sex important in a relationship?
I'd love to say it differs.
Okay.
Like Thando said, it all comes down to what you are in the relationship for. Because for some people, it's not all about sex. Some people can just be in a relationship and not necessarily be intimate with each other. But then for some people, they can. And I think sex for some people is all about showing each other how much you love each other and shit like that. But I don't believe.
Oh, she said a bad word. We're gonna have
to cut that.
But I don't believe it's all about sex. You can be in a relationship, and if the other part does not want to be sexually active with you, it can still work.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think that sometimes the only way you can actually connect with somebody is sexually.
Sometimes.
I feel like the main reason why most of these relationships are failing nowadays is because people feel like sex is all that's needed to solve problems, or sex is the only model you can use to show a person how you feel about them. I feel like it goes beyond just sexual. If you find that your person only understands certain things or after sex, I feel like he was wrong from the get-go. Sex should come after. That's why people say sex after marriage, because this whole time frame, you're supposed to be connected emotionally.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be connected spiritually if possible.
So what if your emotions only arise when you are sexually connected to somebody?
Then it means it's not the proper type of emotion. If my emotions are only brought about by sex, it means I'm just trying to smash. So if you're saying no,
because you can smash anybody,
you get it.
Even the person you're not in a relationship with.
I think you guys are putting so much commerciality on sex. Sex is not commercial. Sex is sacred. Like there's so much emotion and love in sex.
I love how you said it. But it's sacred. But is it though?
It is.
No, guys, we're speaking in the now.
Because right now, to tell a person that I'm in a relationship and I'm not sexually active, they'll look at me like...
Did you say you're a virgin?
Yeah! So, I think these days, people now think a relationship is all about sex.
But what I will say though, I feel like sex is important in a relationship, but in a marriage, because marriage is a relationship.
We're still talking about the 21st century, right?
Yeah.
In the 21st.
Yes, where sex is important after marriage? What, you guys get married at 16 now?
Goes to show that people are doing it before, which is why so many relationships are failing.
Yeah.
Because sex is important, but only in the sacred bedroom.
Okay, fine. Can I ask you a question though? So, what if I am sexually attracted to a person, and then we have sex the first day, right? And then I realize that, you know what, I like this guy, and I want to build something with this guy. But the first day that we meet, I'm sexually attracted to them. So whatever is going to happen that day, it has to be sexual. And then tomorrow, I feel like, you know what, this guy likes me. We connect. Like, so what happens then?
But connection in you, if it's
Because then I feel like the relationship is just built on sexual attraction.
sex.
No, but so the moment that disappears, it means there's
What
no
if someone
relationship
else
left.
comes that you're sexually attracted more than
Then the one you think.
That's the reason why I keep saying with most relationships nowadays are failing, because they're built on sexual attraction. If I'm sexually attracted to a person, it's normal. And we
Yeah.
can fall in love based on that. But then what's stopping me from seeing another sexually attractive person and going to them? Now that comes back to the point that I started with, there's a whole lot of other emotions that go into it. There's a whole lot of other things that feed into it. It has to be emotional, it has to be spiritual if possible. So many levels that build the relationships before you can get to sex.
Yeah, because I've heard of so many relationships that failed after people had sex. Like a girl complaining, you dumped me after we had sex. So sex might not be that important.
Which is something that most girls should know, I think. That you don't prove that you love a guy
By giving him sex.
Yeah, because you can get that from anyone.
Easy.
If you can get it, from you, if you can get it from you, you can get it from somebody else.
Think,
Very easy.
I think we then go back to the fact that we have to define what relationship is. Because when we say how necessary is sex to a relationship, we mean you guys met without sex, you guys fell in love, and you guys have been, you know, dating and doing movies and doing all that emotional stuff that has nothing to do with the physical stuff. So now we're saying you guys have been together for like 2 years or 2 days. So is it really necessary for you guys to have sex? I think that's the question. Isn't that not the question?
That's the question.
That's the question.
I think that's where it comes. That's where the whole idea of when people meet, then they say 90 days before sex. Let's try use 90 days to build up a relationship.
Yeah.
Connect in 90 days. Do other things that are not sex, and then after 90 days, we then discuss.
Here's a problem with that. You know how guys operate. I could just be there chilling for the 90 days, knowing what after 90 days.
Or calculative. Okay,
You know,
I get it.
it's things like
I'm
that.
gonna get it.
You know after 90 days.
Yeah,
I'm
just
patient.
chill for 90
But
days.
yeah, I get that. So I think there's more to this question, and I would like to move us to a different part of sex, which is the abstinence part of it. Let's get back to that one when we get back. Alright guys, so I wanted to ask though, what do you think is the reason why people have sex? Like your perception of it. Why do people have sex?
Connection. Basically, that's the only way that I can put it.
What kind of connection are you talking about? Because I feel like
Emotional connection. Emotional connection.
Bluetooth connection.
we can emotionally connect without having sex.
I know.
I mean,
I also think that like emotions are amplified when you guys have sex.
yeah.
If you guys have like regular physical sex, like you know when you have sex with a prostitute, that's just physical. But when you have sex with somebody you emotionally connect with, it's the emotions are amplified.
Okay, so you're saying people have
But
sex
then you're already
to
connected.
Amplify the
emotions.
Yeah.
Amplify them.
Yeah, I had a friend who actually used to tell me what they like. It's different with the person that you're in a relationship and you actually feel something for than like a person you just date to like have sex with them.
So the sex is different.
Yeah,
depending
it's
on how you
different,
feel about the
exactly.
person.
So you connect.
It is actually different.
So it's a connection.
What do you think about
Not bad or no pass.
She hasn't
No
had sex.
comment.
She
No
pass it?
comment.
She's fast.
Personally, I do agree with you that sex is there to amplify feelings and emotions. But then, question is, what's the right time to do it? Because I've heard introducing a new term, celibacy. Have you heard about it? Yes, there's people that say we are in a relationship but we're both celibate. Celibate meaning that not having sex. Those relationships, can they work? Because you're saying that sex amplifies emotions. So if a person say, take for example, you're dating a Christian guy, and then they tell you, I love you so much, but I'm celibate until I put a ring on your finger. Do you think those relationships can work?
And this is when
Coming from a Christian
this is when people
perspective.
then say, "Yo, skumu ite zuzhu," but when not ite zuzhu.
Eish. We'll need comments on that.
But it's no, I don't think that's true.
Then
someone
Punyepa. Listen, in me, I'm a pastor's kid. And where we come from, we taught you are not going to have sex until you're married. So let's say I get into a relationship with another pastor's kid. Who fears their parents as much as I fear mine?
Okay.
Trust me.
But the probability of you finding another pastor's kid is
Actually,
unless if you're forced into
I
it.
actually don't think it's slim.
No, if she's
not.
forced into it.
Circles.
Yeah,
It's
circles.
not.
Circles. Here's the thing. Celibacy can work only if the people that are in it have the same mindset. It's different if I, a church boy, get into a relationship with someone who's not conforming to those ideologies. Someone who thinks that sex means a relationship. Tana, you've been so quiet.
I know, like I'm here thinking, listen, I went through my entire high school life and everybody around me was having sex. And I wasn't. Do you know why I wasn't? I was celibate unintentionally because my dad and my brother, I went to school with my brother, so it was unintentional. But given the option, I will say we become celibate. If we become celibate afterwards, we're gonna be like, I'm gonna be celibate now because I'm going through a period in my life where I'm thinking about not having sex. But then the thing is, if I meet a guy and I say, look, I've been addicted and now I want to stop. So let's have a relationship where I'm celibate. If he understands where I'm coming from, you understand? But if he doesn't, I didn't have a boyfriend in high school because I will tell them this is what's up.
So
And then they'll be like,
date
yeah,
you because you
it's okay to tell somebody that this is what you want, and then somebody leaves. It's okay.
Yeah.
But being celibate is not an issue. It's not a problem. It's a choice that you
Because
make.
I think if you get in a relationship and you're honest with the person you're in a relationship with, well, you know what? This is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
We do not pass the stage. It's either we're kissing and holding hands, we do not.
Okay.
Even when I see Bono, when I see
Guys, this is Tripa College.
There you go.
Mavrick, Tripa College. How many times have you heard guys saying, can I go to 20 band?
I have to confess, I had a guy who asked me out. I think I was in 1-1 or something. And because I didn't sleep with him,
Exposure.
he ghosted me, guys. Just a day after he asked if
But
I could.
is it bad that it
It's
goes-
not.
It's actually
not.
You know, I think it's a good thing
Yeah.
because people don't normally come into a relationship telling you this is what I want.
Yeah.
I want a long-term relationship, or I just want to have sex and leave. So when somebody ghosts you after you refuse to have sex with them, it's a good thing because they're
Yeah.
telling you this is what I wanted,
I just wanted to have sex.
and you didn't want that. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay. But then pane mamwe mababy manje aunozonzwa kuti no, because akati if you're not having sex with me then ndakukusiya, then they give in. What do you think is driving their intention?
Pressure.
Because I feel like
Pressure.
celibacy has
That's
to be
pressure.
a
Pressure.
choice.
That's just
It's
peer
pressure.
But here's my question. If you're really saying you're celibate, it's not something that can be shaken by another person.
Yeah, it's not.
Zvinozonenge
not.
watozviti iwewe haina ndisweet.
It's a choice.
Some people
So now
loosely
some people
celibate.
think they're
Loosely.
celibate.
Loose, very loose.
I don't think you're celibate.
Guys, I think
Because I know I'm not celibate
Wait.
because akushaya mukana.
no, I think
I
celibacy is a
see.
choice.
Oh, guys, kune mna noshaya
It's
mukana.
a choice. No, there is.
Zvakati
Vana
wooma.
vanoshanga.
Akushaya
Just
mukana.
akatooma.
Pane munhu anotoshaya ndakashata ndikushaya munhu anotondi I don't know what you guys call it. And nobody comes to me because I'm ugly. But then I'm saying celibacy is a choice as much as refusing to do like drinking or using drugs. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
It's a choice. You have to make the choice. Family.
But then in these days that we're living in, is it practical to say we can find people that are celibate?
It is.
It is.
It is.
It actually is.
It is.
Especially for for most Christian people.
Like people who are very religious, it is.
Okay. So what about those that are loosely religious? As Mavrick termed it, loosely
celibate.
They could be loosely religious. Okay, I definitely want to hear what you guys think about it. Is it possible to be celibate in this time and era in my 2K? Personally, guys, me, I've been hearing things. The 2K, bruh, people have started having sex
at 16
as soon as they get to Form 1.
I have a neighbor who's
18
14
actually.
and pregnant. I mean,
18. Yeah, 18, guys. Not 16.
What happened to the temple? The body is not the temple anymore.
You see,
Nobody
now here's
reads
the
the
thing.
Bible anymore.
What I feel is people speak about it in the streets,
yeah, and they don't
but
act
they're not
on it.
doing it.
Oh, people are now aware.
Oh, is this something you grew up being taught?
But you don't understand it personally. Inini, I'm not having sex because it's my principle. People that do it out of fear usually don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Saka, let us know what you think.
So I'm broadcasting live from CAT campus na Mox. Toda munzo kuti Mox wanofunga nezvepanaudze dzebonde mu relationship. How important is it kwauri? How important is sex in a relationship to you?
Zvebonde pa relationship zvinenge zviri patsunda. Pane imwe relationship vanyasoona kuti haidi bonde. Iyi inoda bonde waisa. Zvinenge zvichienderana zvakamira sei. Waisa. Ini nangu is a view yangu ini. Bonde kutara waisa.
Nanka personally, I think sex relationship it's not that important.
So mkamuna wako akakuza kuti we're not going to have sex, unongotoripo
Nentoribo because inini ndino ma values angu zvinhu zvandinobelieva kumba kwedu kana kuti as a person.
Inonzi munyamazi. The designer who called. So I really think sex is just a package which comes together with a relationship, a good relationship. That's what I think.
Do you think you can be celibate?
No, I doubt.
How important is sex to you in a relationship?
It's not a necessity, but I don't know. I think I'm 50-50.
Okay.
Is it okay or not? But I think it's not the most important thing in a relationship.
Pana anooneka kuti apa pandotya wapo koita anooneka kuti apa nditya non-starter yekuti unotoona kunge hayi unotoona kunge wakanodhirima kana marriage kana wakanoichengeta kama ma-archives saka zviriko zvakadaro.
Nyasha unogona kugara without sex here?
Ina handikwanise zvangu.
Haukwanise. So even if you're single, haukwanise?
Handikwanise.
Unototsvaga ma-means chete?
For me, I don't think it's something that is really important.
Why?
I guess if you are not involved in sex, it can never be important.
Oh, saka usati wambo.
Yeah, ndinazvo.
From my own perspective, I usually don't believe in having sex during a relationship because to my own understanding and belief in sex, sex is something that's way more deeper. So can you imagine being in a relationship and you're having sex with someone just randomly, and at the end you never know where the relationship is going to end. So for me, I don't think sex is that important in a relationship.
Okay.
Yes.
And you?
No sex before marriage.
And no sex before marriage. But then some other people say this is the 21st century. Izvo zvaishanda kudhara. And I believe you are wakawanda zvaishanda kudhara. Saka zvichiri kunyatsoitwa here izvo kana kuti because vamwe vanhu vari kuita vana vari kunoku kuti vakarorwa here.
Yeah, well, that's the normal thing nowadays. But the thing is that people are now normalizing the abnormal things, you know. So if sex is now like a normal thing in a relationship, everyone is just doing it. But for some people who are mature, they will know that maybe sex is not supposed
So you're saying sex is something that means something. So munoita which is what this is the right person, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Mew Mew. Here, Postal X, right? Yeah, Postal X. Chidim Tuck Shop, Tambo. Actually, Kanzara, but then we decided to ask that tuck shop guy, what's your name? Yeah, his name is Munashe Chipati. So, Munashe, we just want to ask you.
She literally just forgot to introduce me.
This is PD. So, everyone knows you, Uncle. They already know. What is your name?
My name is PD. And now
So we want to ask you a very important question. How important is sex in your relationship? Are you in a relationship?
Yes, I am.
Is it important?
Well, I really can't speak on that note. Why? Because I'm not yet sexually active. But I believe for those who are, it could be. Why? Because it's an essential. The fact that it's supposed to be done within the context of I believe it's supposed to be done to be done in the context of marriage, which is why I'm not yet sexually active. Yeah, some say virgins are not yet. There are no longer virgins out there, but yeah, we still do exist. So speaking for those maybe who are sexually active and who are in relationships, from the advice and maybe from the conversations that I've engaged with some of my colleagues and friends, they mentioned that it really is important. The same way that food is important for the body, they say sex, it really does strengthen the relationship. So they really mean to say that it's essential for the growth and for the upkeep of the relationship.
I think it's really cool how you're staying celibate and everything. But I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
When you get married and you realize that your wife is not as good in bed as you expected it to be good, will you leave her and now go and look for another wife who is good? Like, how are you going to do it? Because you've never done it. There's chances that it's going to be amazing because you've never done it, and then there's chances that you're not going to feel okay. But maybe if I find another, what are you going to do in that situation?
Okay, so I believe it won't be a no-brainer for me. Why? Because what makes it difficult by then would be if I would have tested it from somewhere else. That means I would have maybe two bars to compare with. I'll be comparing my wife to someone else. But if I get to know just one person, it means I have to find satisfaction with that one person. And I believe God is faithful to those who are faithful to themselves, and He really will be faithful to me on that note. Sorry,
That's great.
I have a question. Wanguka, ndanzwa nekutaridza apa. Handisi kuona protection. Autengese protection.
Okay, protection yaitomboripo yapera, so mangwana inenge yaback in stock. Me not being sexually active doesn't mean I shouldn't mind about putting protection in stock. Why? Because I have to care about my colleagues and also my customers and clients by putting up protection. Now interest is back. The worry there was not much worry before. It was cost interest. People were doing it maybe with some and stuff. But right now that we've got interest back, we really need to put up condoms. And of course, maybe for those who don't know, there are some given for free by the clinic. So at least if you don't get it here, you have backup at the clinic for free.
Ndineza ndaonawo mana. Hanzi protection yapera. Vanhu vari kushanda uko mana.
I have one more important question. It's a very serious question. Chingwa nebeans kuita mari.
So manje chingwa chiri kukwira. The price yanhasi inonge isiri yemangwana. But for the current price, chingwa chikuita $50, 600 won, 650 RTGS. Beans is cheaper. Ziri $1. Maybe on the note of beans, there's this random meme which was going around saying beans amazwano. Where is it? Yeah, it's it up. Bona beans easy. Zakare waifanira kukwesha kuti dzizovhurika. But zvino nguva yavovhura panapa. Beans atodi zavurika. Anyway, this meme is not about beans. It's about something else.
Beans. Go chingwa. Right. Thanks, guys.